Come on, really? How's everybody doing? That's what I like to hear. My name is Mark Walters. I'm the event manager of Dallas Comic Con's Fan Days. Thank you very much for coming out today. We appreciate you guys being here. This is our first 3-day show at an attempt at this, and obviously, you guys don't mind that. So thanks for coming out on a Friday. And it's a great pleasure. I don't often get to host Q&As. It's something I really like to do because I also have a website called bigfanboy.com, shameless plug. And it's funny because I've actually gotten to interview Stan a few times, and 15 years ago, almost to the day, I did my first Q&A with Stan Lee, and it was really amazing. It was like half my lifetime ago, so it's going to be a real treat to have him back here. This is our third time to have Stan Lee in Dallas in the last 2 years, and we cannot be more thrilled to have him here. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get him out here. The man, the legend, Stan the Man Lee.
See anybody, but it sounds like there are a lot of you. All you people with nothing better to do, well, what are you going to do?
I assure you there's lots of people out there, although I know you're seeing a lot of lights. Let's start off by clearing a little something up. The reports of your demise are greatly exaggerated. I hope so. Yes. There was a nasty rumor floating around for a while that you were having all these problems, and you look healthier than ever. You are a new man.
Well, I'm a new man. I got what they call a pacemaker.
Yes, you're like Tony Stark.
Yeah. They cut my whole chest open, and then put this machine in, and it's supposed to keep my heart beating for like 1,000,000 years. Beating 1,000,000 years, and I'll trip and fall and crack my head open, you know.
Well, first of all, Stan, thank you so much for coming back.
Pretty damn nice of me.
It is very nice of you.
Can they see me? Because I can't see
them.
them.
We've got screens on either side. They can see you really good.
Why am I not looking at them?
I don't know. We could do the whole interview.
I don't see any screen.
If the screen's there, so.
All right, we're going to stop everything while they put a monitor here so I can see what we look like.
Yes.
Next time we do that, all right?
We will do that.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can have a giant screen of you behind your head. So.
All right, now we get serious. Stop kidding around out there.
Let's go ahead and get everybody real excited. You just shot another one of your famous cameos.
I told you, when you talk into the mic,
yes.
I can't make out what the heck
you
is.
shot.
See, it's funny. When people talk into the mic, it sounds to me like this. I don't know why. So hold the mic a little bit away.
That doesn't sound like
talk like a human being.
That doesn't sound like me at all. No,
to me.
You just shot one of your very famous cameos for Iron Man 3, and
famous cameos.
Without going into too many major spoilers, was that a fun time? Was that like, I'm hearing that that's going to be one of your best.
Oh, I think the cameo for Iron Man 3 might very well be the best I've ever done, and you know how great the others have been. I got to tell you a funny thing. Well, it's funny to me. You may not find it amusing at all, but you know, grant me this one. You know, the Avengers made a lot of money.
Is that a movie? I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it came out recently. And I'm going to tell you the real reason that the Avengers made all that money. You may remember my cameo is at the very end, and it's very brief. Now, a lot of people blink their eye or talking to the person next to them. They miss my cameo. So what happens when that occurs? They go back to the box office and they buy another ticket. Hey, we're not leaving until we see Stan's cameo. That's why the movie made so much money. That's why they put the cameo in.
Now, this has been an interesting year because we've had the Avengers come out, which we've been a long time waiting for that, and seeing all those heroes.
So have I.
All those great heroes on the big screen that you had such an important role with. that's got to be like the most gratifying thing of all, because we're not just looking at one character, we're looking at all these characters that you've worked so hard on over the years.
Yeah, they didn't put Dr. Strange in there, they didn't put the Black Panther, they didn't have Ant-Man, and a few others. I got a bone to pick with them. Oh, I'll tell you something funny about the Avengers. Well, to me it's funny, you may not find it funny at all. I was asked to do a little something for the show Good Morning America on television. And I don't know when this will come out, maybe at Halloween, I don't know. But they came over to my office to film it, and this is what they wanted me to say. Let me think if I can remember it for a minute. Hey, Cap, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, there's trouble in Times Square. Avengers assemble! Something like that. Obviously, I did it magnificently, so you've got to watch Good Morning America until that comes out, and you can turn to the lucky person next to you and say, I heard Stan tell me about that.
I love how you did that and just went, or something like that.
I'm not sure of the exact wording, but it was close to that.
Yeah.
Actually, I changed it because what they wanted me to say was much duller. And I, of course, made it exciting and literary and magnificent. I could do a lot better if modesty wasn't always holding me back.
Well, you are one of the world's greatest editors, if not the world's greatest.
The world's greatest. I don't understand why they always say, Stan, you're going to be on a panel, and they call this a panel. Doesn't the panel have to be a lot of guests? I mean, I got my friend here who's wonderful, but he's like the interlocutor, and I'm sitting here all alone, defenseless, and no other people here to carry the burden, and they call it a panel. That isn't. Oh, I'll tell you another thing that bothers me. Did you ever see on the internet, I have this show, I don't know why, Stanley's...
World of Heroes.
World of Heroes, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I have something called Stan's Rants, where I talk about all the things that bother me. And of course, a guy like me, everything bothers me. So, I'm going to give you a preview of a rant that will come out soon. I've already done it, but it hasn't been made public yet, I don't think. I don't, and this is very serious, and I want you to pay attention. The word comic book. Every time somebody writes it, they write C-O-M-I-C space B-O-O-K. They write it like it's two words, comic book. And here's the fallacy of that, the enormity of the terrible injustice that is done. If it's a comic book, that means it's a funny book. That's what the word comic means. Nobody can call Thor a funny book. However, if they were to write it as one word, comic book, C-O-M-I-C-B-O-O-K, then it becomes a description of its own, just like magazine, television show, comic book, and a comic book would mean an illustrated story. So I want you all not to waste time when you leave here. Contact all your friends, everybody you know, and let's start the ball rolling on this, okay? Shut up so I can ask him the questions I want to ask him.
Stan's Rants, live and in person. You got to see a Stan rant live. You know, this also bears the subject of when you do a lot of these things online, and you're very present online. You're on Twitter, you're on YouTube, you're on several different videos. It's got to be great to kind of have that connection with your fan base to where you can constantly be talking to them and constantly addressing concerns and you know, new things that are coming out. How important is that to you on a daily basis to be able to communicate with the fans?
The fans are the most important people in the world to anybody in the entertainment business. And anybody in the entertainment, and entertainment means writing, acting, acting, sports, music, comics, anything where you're entertaining the public. Anybody in entertainment who doesn't pay enough attention to fans is an idiot. Because without fans, we're nothing.
We're seeing like a dozen or so cameras in the audience, and I never once thought to ask anybody for a copy of that tape. So one of you guys...
Do I have it?
Do you have it? I don't think you have it. No.
Oh, you're asking if one of them has it?
Well, yeah, I don't think any of these guys have it. But we've got a lot of video cameras out in the audience, so one of you guys has to give me a tape after this. That's all.
Nobody would ever let go of a tape like that. That would be sacred to anybody.
But the reason I bring that up is because that was 15 years ago, and you look exactly the same. You have the same energy. How do you do it? How do you keep up that kind of energy after all?
If I told you, everybody would do it. I have no idea. I just like what I'm doing. I like being with fans. I'm not very particular. I even like being with you. It's fun. That's all. I hope you're enjoying it as much as we're enjoying it.
I wish I could say the same. Let's start over. We've got one question over here. Step on up to the mic and please speak loudly, if you will. What costume have flashed you? You tell me. Is that a good question?
Well, it got a lot of laughs, so I say it's a great question. I love hearing laughs. If by flash you mean they somehow took off part of their costume to reveal parts of their anatomy, that has not happened to me. I haven't been that lucky.
So there are 2 more days of it's a family show.
People do come over to me, which is a hell of a surprise, men and women. At every convention, it happens at least a few times. And would I sign my name on their arm or leg or any part of the body so that they could have it tattooed? So with some of them, requesting the signature is the closest thing to what you said, which I'm not going to mention, because like you said, we may have some young children in the audience.
Okay, so you didn't sign any boobs? I'm just kidding. Go right here.
We might have an audience of nothing but young children. I can't see. About this, I did one earlier. And I thought of it because she said something about eating, because I was in a restaurant eating, and Steve Rogers, this was the cameo, Steve Rogers was at the next table to me, and an attractive blonde girl kept bringing him his food, and Steve obviously liked the girl, but was too shy to say anything to her, and I'm sitting at the next table eating, kind of watching Steve, and at one point, this is my cameo, at one point I leaned over and said, "Talk to her, you moron, what's the matter with you?" And that line was given to me by the director. And I said it magnificently, as you would expect. And he said to me, "Stan, would you mind trying it again without wearing your glasses, because the glass is causing a glare, because the light is here and the camera's here," one of those technical things. So I said it again without my glasses, equally beautifully, I said it. And then I found out they couldn't use it because it didn't look enough like me without my glasses. So we ended up doing the cameo that I did do, but now you know something the general public does not know. You know the original cameo that was intended for that movie. I am so generous.
It's a very heartwarming scene. I wish it had been in the movie. I really do. Right here.
Stan, it's an honor and pleasure to talk to you. My girlfriend and I drove 8 hours to come see you. My question is this: when you're not inspiring people and changing people's lives, what do you and your wife like to do in your free time?
Okay, first of all, he wanted to thank you. They drove 8 hours to be here.
You're very welcome. You drove 8 hours?
He drove 8 hours to be here.
Well, thank you.
And he wants to know what you and your wife do your spare time when you're not working? Kind of personal.
Are there young people in the audience? Now, my wife is really my best friend. I love talking to her, kidding around with her. We never talk business. And we just have a lot of fun together, and I don't know anything particular, but my only problem is I don't see enough of her because I'm traveling a lot and I'm at the office a lot. So whenever I see her, it's a real treat, and I just love her company.
Yeah, sweet.
Thank you, company owners.
Right over here.
Hi Stan, it's an honor to meet you. Spider-Man, the original movie, is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I gotta ask, what's it like being married to the same woman since 1947?
What's it like being married to the same woman since 1947?
It's wonderful. I mean, if you pick the right woman, I'm very lucky. I found the right woman, and it's been great. I don't know what else to say. She's also my best friend. So she's not only beautiful and sexy, but she's my best friend. You can't do better than that.
Amen. Okay, guys, I'm being given the wrap-up sign, so let's just do one more quick one right over here, and then you guys we'll have a chance to do photo ops and autographs and things like that. We want to try to get through as many people today as we can. So right here, sir, you have the honor of the last question.
Nice to meet you, Stan. It's my first time ever to a con. It's really nice to talk to you. My last question is, there has been many superheroes out there throughout the years. Has there ever been one that you said, ooh, I wish I thought of that?
Has there ever been a superhero that you thought to yourself, I wish I'd thought of that?
Yeah, there's one that DC has. Lobo. I don't know if you're familiar. I kind of get a kick out of Lobo. I didn't think of it. But that's about it. I don't go around wishing I had thought of things. I like to just think of my own things.
Yeah. So we're going to see you next in Iron Man 3 and hopefully in all those other great Marvel movies. And I know you're always working. You've got stuff coming out. You got Stan's Rants. You've got World of Heroes. You can find Stan on Twitter, The Real Stan Lee on Twitter. And you can find him at the Dallas Comic Con Fan Days, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him a big hand.